Imagine having a name that instantly transports you back to the 1980s, a name that, to a whole generation, embodied elegance, charm, and beauty. During the 1980s, Morgan Fairchild was the object of everyone's desire. Morgan was the face of her era thanks to her striking appearance, endearing personality, and recognizable on-screen persona. However, what happens to these well-known individuals when the limelight wanes? Now, where are they? And after being adored by millions of people, what does it feel like to lead a totally different life? Watch this video to learn more about Morgan Fairchild's life after the 1980s and how she transitioned from fame to a more sedate lifestyle. You won't want to miss this, so stay put. In the 1980s, Morgan Fairchild's name was all over the place. She was a well-liked personality, whether it was because of her beautiful magazine covers or her parts in classic TV series like Dallas and Flamingo Road. She was the pinnacle of Hollywood beauty, and more than just an actress. Many people thought Morgan was the ideal girl because of her golden hair, sparkling blue eyes, and classic smile. However, Morgan's life began to change as the 1980s transitioned into the 1990s. Once a well-known Hollywood star, she now lives alone and is not in the spotlight. But the woman who had everything at her feet, what happened to her? Let's look into it. Morgan Fairchild's status as one of Hollywood's most attractive stars was cemented in the 1980s. Despite her initial ascent to popularity in the late 1970s, her tenure on Dallas further cemented her as a household figure, adding to her already established reputation as a chic, glamorous heroine from her performance on Flamingo Road. Her remarkable acting abilities were almost as distinctive as her looks. Whether she was portraying a strong, self-assured woman or a weak one, her on-screen persona was captivating. She frequently portrayed strong, endearing, and perhaps even a little enigmatic women in her performances. Her popularity was a result of her full being, not just her acting abilities. Morgan could draw attention as soon as she entered a room, and she did it with ease. Fans were enthralled with her, particularly during the 1980s. In those days, she was the quintessential star. However, Hollywood's fame game started to change almost as fast as Morgan's success did. Like many other superstars, Morgan's fame gradually waned in the 1990s as the media and entertainment industries began searching for fresh faces. As Morgan's career progressed, she was given positions that were less rewarding than her previous achievements. Although she was not alone in this, many people found it difficult to accept the shift as it was. As the 1980s came to an end, Morgan Fairchild's life began to take unexpected turns. Morgan didn't appear to have a desire for stardom, in contrast to her peers who went on to play a variety of parts in movies or television shows. Rather, she made deliberate decisions to avoid the intense public scrutiny that comes with being an A-list actress. She eventually prioritized her personal life over her professional career. She lived in the background, out of sight of the flashing cameras and the reporters. Morgan's admirers began to wonder about her. Her withdrawal from the spotlight was a significant change for a lady who had previously been featured on magazine covers, TV shows, and movie screens. People began to question what had become of the woman who had won everyone over. To whither had she disappeared? In actuality, Morgan just made the decision to live her life free from the demands and expectations that accompanied her status. We no longer remember Morgan Fairchild as the glitzy Hollywood star of the 1980s. Some assume that she may have disappeared since she leads a much more private life away from the spotlight. In actuality, though, Morgan has been enjoying her life as she pleases and has given up on seeking attention or recognition. Many people who grew up admiring her would be surprised by her decision for a more private existence. But it makes sense when you consider it. Morgan has never hidden the fact that she cherishes her privacy and her life away from Hollywood. Despite not being as well known as she once was, she continues to lead a meaningful and passionate life. For instance, she continues to engage in charitable endeavors and advocates for a number of causes. She shares her opinions, updates, and some intimate moments with her fans on social media, where she is also very active. Despite everything, Morgan decides not to join the media frenzy. Away from the tumult of her 1980s stardom, she has learned to appreciate life on her own terms. What does Morgan Fairchild's story teach us? Her life after the 1980s teaches us all a lot about the importance of isolation, self-care, and finding happiness away from the spotlight. Hollywood has a way of persuading individuals that in order to be important, one must always be in the spotlight. However, Morgan Fairchild demonstrates that sometimes the finest life is the one you chose for yourself, unencumbered by demands, the media's constant attention, or expectations. Morgan's choice to live alone and avoid the spotlight does not imply that she has given up on life or that she is living alone. Rather, it depicts a person who has learned to live for herself rather than for other people's acceptance. In the age of social media influencers, reality TV stars, and ongoing public scrutiny, many of us could find this lesson useful. Morgan Fairchild's influence on Hollywood and popular culture is undeniable, despite the fact that she isn't as well known as she once was. In the 1980s and 1990s, she made contributions to television history that are still valued today. Her followers continue to appreciate her contributions to the entertainment industry, even though she is no longer the it girl. Morgan has demonstrated that age does not diminish attractiveness. Her legacy endures in the hearts of those who grew up watching her, despite the fact that she may not be as well known as she was in the 1980s. Furthermore, even if she isn't vying for attention, her name still carries credibility. At this moment, where is Morgan Fairchild? She is living her life as she sees fit. It is fair that she is no longer the same Hollywood star that she once was. The fact that she has found contentment and serenity away from the spotlight is what matters most. Morgan's tale serves as a reminder that life is about more than just aiming for achievement or notoriety. Sometimes it's about living really and discovering your actual happiness. Regarding Morgan Fairchild's choice to avoid the spotlight, what are your thoughts? Do you miss watching her on TV, or do you respect her for living a more tranquil life? Let us know in the comment section below. Please remember to like and subscribe, and don't hesitate to leave us a comment if you want to see more films like this one. We appreciate your time and hope to see you again soon.